What is up, YouTube? It's Kingfisher745, and welcome to episode 56 of All Hail the King. Now for today's episode, we're going to feature Deathlok in PvP, and we'll have 3 team-ups for the latest PvP reward hero. As always, before we get started, make sure to check out the From the Helicarrier podcast at www.thehelicarrier.com. I will also place a link to the corresponding podcast in the description below. As for our first team up, we're going to be using Deathlok and Fixer. Now the reasons behind this team is that both of these characters seem really similar, I guess because of the whole cyborg thing, but also Fixer begins the fight with Combat Suite. This buff says allies deal extra damage with technology attacks. However, unfortunately, even though it seems like all of Deathlok's attacks should be tech, only one of his abilities actually is. Another thing I want to point out is that combat data definitely helps Deathlok get more damage. That is, when it comes to his level 1. However, when you equip something like the Skeptic, which applies combat data to attacking enemies, you're going to notice that these two debuffs do not stack. One combat data says lowers evasion, and Deathlok says reduces accuracy and evasion, and attacks against his target are more likely to critically hit. In the future, I'm hoping they combine these two, and if they do that, then Deathlok's level 1 will do some major damage. It already hits pretty hard, especially when targeting a bruiser. Oh, and one more great thing, I've noticed that the explosive EISO procs all the time, both from his level 6 quick action and from his level 1, so you'll be getting some extra damage pretty consistently throughout the fight. This Deathlok is currently only at level 10, so I cannot wait to see him at level 14. Now as far as Fixer, I do love his mines and the chain reaction that they cause. However, in many PvP battles, it just takes too long to set up. So instead of beginning with his mines, we're going to go straight to Tactician and fire our single target Gatling gun. Since people are feeling more comfortable to bring in blasters, this can do some incredible damage and give him tactical maneuvers. Because of this and his incredible damage, we're able to take out the enemy agent quickly, which is very important because they have Molly Hayes and the First Blood. With him neutralized, we can now begin to deal with Molly. So actually what we're going to do is use the Blackest Void, and then with Deathlok, we'll use his suppression grenade to exhaust the enemy runaway. That pretty much keeps her in check, but we don't want to do too much damage to where Iron Fist may heal her, remove, and prevent debuffs. So instead we use our AoE attack. Then after Iron Fist attacks us back, we can switch to Blaster and use automated fire. Fixer once again does big damage to the enemy team. After her dot, Molly is very close to death, and she's exhausted, so she has to use Let's Play Catch. With my agent's final turn, we'll play it safe and use the Light Fantastic, and then finish off both of the enemies with Deathlok. I absolutely love that you can use his level 6 every single round, and it has a chance for collateral damage. Judging by the outcome so far, it has a great chance to proc. Then we'll finish it with his level 9, which does have Boon Buster, Deadly Crits, and removes buffs. Speaking of Boon Buster, our next team features XForce Deadpool. He not only has Boon Buster himself, but he also has the ridiculous AISO. The ridiculous AISO causes sharp pointy things to apply strengthened, focused, fortified, and agile to both Deadpool and the target. And it can be found in Season 2, Chapter 6, Mission 6. Now it's a bit scary because you are giving buffs to the enemy, but XForce Deadpool has Boon Buster on his attacks, and Deathlok has Boon Buster on that level 9. Just to go over that in case someone didn't realize, Boon Buster says, you will deal increased damage against targets with strengthened, fortified, focused, agile, shield, or regen effects. So as you can imagine, this can really build up the damage. If you see Heimdall on the enemy team, for example, you're going to get a big smile on your face. Then another great thing about certain teams like Null or Quicksilver is that they constantly do things that's going to get them combat data. Because of this, Deathlok's level 1 will do some serious damage. The only bad part is in this one, we may not even get to build up Boonbuster. But hey, who doesn't want a quick win? Oh, and here's what sharp pointy things looks like with the ridiculous AISO. So there you see you're going to give yourself all of those buffs, as well as the enemy. Now even though this seems like a very bad idea, we're actually going to attack Quicksilver. So now he has all those Boonbuster buffs. Hopefully he doesn't use those to take out Deathlok. I'd be fine with losing anyone else. So far so good, and with his second attack, he's going to use Vortex Lariat. Now we have to worry about stun. Well, actually though, we're going to counter because of the Neurotrope, and our level 1 does amazing damage once again. So unfortunately we didn't get to take advantage of Boonbuster, but our Suppression Grenade does finish this fight. So moving on to our third team, this one we were kind of just messing around. For example, I brought in the Infiltrator Flight Suit, which is broken, and for now we put on the Oni Breaker, plus the Blade of the Guardian and the Mercurial. When the Flight Suit works properly, I do want to test things like this out, but for now, unfortunately it doesn't do anything. We also of course have Pestilence Beast, and he's going to allow us to debuff the enemies and keep those debuffs on them. The enemy team happens to be using Black Knight, and he's extremely annoying. He just keeps absorbing power over and over again. Not to mention he does counter. Fortunately, Deathlok's placing combat data on him. By the end of this, he's probably going to have a very impressive amount of those on him. Now after he attacks, on Beast's first turn, we first use his level 6, and that's as a quick action. Then we're going to use Jekyll and Hyde. Now to be honest with you, we probably should have used his level 1. And don't worry, we will next time. If you don't know why, that's because of Nano Plague. And well, just watch Black Knight until then. The guy is nigh invulnerable. He stays at full health despite being hit. And he just keeps healing and healing. Plus he protects everything. I mean, just watch this. He procs a heal, seemingly just for the fun of it. Just constant healing. I've always liked him, and I've been a fan of him for a while. But this was pretty outrageous. As you can see, there's another heal. And another heal. Then a Shield of Night. At this point, I was really hoping we could hit him with our level 1. But he's just going to heal. And ultimately, he ends up dodging the attack. At this point, I was really starting to think that I was never going to kill him. But we'll see once Beast gets another turn. Also, one thing that I have learned from this fight is I need to go back and make another Black Knight refactored video. I still have an awesome graphic for it, and I need to check out this guy again. No wonder I see him in the comment section so often. You guys must have known how crazy good he is. So anyways, as we can see, he has 4 stacks of combat data, and with my agent we're going to use a Fire Tornado. Then sadly we're stunned, so that's the end of our turn. After Black Knight attacks once again, we're finally going to use the Heart of Darkness and hopefully get Nano Plague. There's a 60% chance, and what it's going to do is deal damage every turn, prevent most beneficial statuses, but it may end up being removed by resting or healing. For me, I was just hoping that this made the fight a little bit easier. Now thankfully, in a way, the agent used Blackest Void. At least it's not a heal. Then with our agent, we'll try to use the suit, but of course that doesn't do anything. Then we'll use Fire Tornado once again, followed by the Oni Breaker. And the Oni Breaker does major damage, ending the fight. So we were able to pull out a win after all, even after that ridiculous beginning. And with that, we're going to end the video. I want to thank you all for watching and ask you to please like, comment, and subscribe. Then until next time, good luck and take care.